Would you like to increase the joy and reduce the amount of space in your brain that is taken up by worry or fear or pressure? I've got some good news for you. This can be done with some simple practices. And when you reduce the negative feelings, emotions, and thoughts and increase the joy in your life, that in turn will reduce physical reactions that you might have to stress in ways like headaches, random aches and pains, immune suppression, sleepless nights, to name a few. In this episode, we're going to explore a little bit about how emotions affect your health. And at the end, I'm going to give you simple techniques that'll help you become more calm during stressful times and make the joyful moments last longer and be a bigger part of your day and your mental focus. I'm Lucy Gable, Leadership Optimal Performance Coach, author, speaker, and professor at the George Washington University School of Medicine grad program, and you're listening to the podcast, Leadership, Life, Health, and Happiness. I'm going to share 2 holiday scenarios. I'd like you to think about whether any of these stories sound like your life right now, and whether you can pinpoint where the start of all of these issues occurred. Here's the first one. You take a look at your list of things to do, and it looks increasingly overwhelming. Add to that, you're spending more time slaving away, doing things for others, and you've put down a lot of the practices in normal life that lead you to being mentally and physically balanced. As time goes by and you're increasingly overloaded, passing by all the special holiday treats at the shopping centers, you know you deserve a little love. You're not really paying attention, but you decide to treat yourself when you want it because you deserve it. And you end up having a few holiday treats a day. A sweet special coffee in the morning or afternoon for a pick-me-up, a slice of cake or pie at the holiday parties, maybe even a couple. And there are more sweets at home and at the office because people are giving you gifts, and you truly do feel exhausted and exasperated. So this is how you give yourself a teeny reward for all of your troubles. Also, you're grabbing more takeout now because you just don't have the time to think about food or even think about what you're eating. And you're starting to feel a deeper, more intense mental crash in the afternoon and early evenings before dinner. And you're craving more sugary foods, even though you're eating more. As the month passes by and your stress increases, you're not sleeping as well. Despite your best efforts, sometimes you're less patient with family and people at work, and you're fighting off the desire to lash out at them. You're also noticing it's harder to be patient with all these people on the road during the holidays. They're crowding into the malls and the plazas. Parking is a disaster. It's hard to get the food that you need just for the regular weekly menu. And you're not doing the small things for yourself that you usually do to keep your stress down because there's no time. With the increase of stress, the reduction in time for self-care, an increase of balancing emotions between family members, people at work, and yourself, you're starting to get headaches. The stress is building up in your neck and back. You might have a little more joint pain than usual, or old injuries start acting up. And of course, you come down with at least one cold, maybe the flu. Here's a second one. There are certain people in your family that you have a long history of disagreement with, or even sad misunderstandings. You're constantly trying to do what's best for everyone in your family, so you don't really say what's on your mind or what you feel during the holidays because you don't want to make waves, especially during the times when your family's getting together because you don't see them very much otherwise. You could be a people pleaser, or maybe you're just someone who shuts down and doesn't say anything because you don't know what to say. Either way, as the holidays get closer, your stomach becomes more irritated with food you normally don't have a problem eating. Or you start to feel weird pains in your body for no reason you can figure out. Or maybe that skin rash is coming back. Or maybe you just feel like it's harder and harder to get out of bed. Obviously, these gatherings and impending new gatherings are making you exhausted. So you have less energy to be your best at work and to perform well at work. You have less energy to enjoy the people around you that you really like being with, but you power through as always. And at the end of the holiday season, you crash with a really bad cold or one of those weird illnesses that affect your skin, your stomach, or that make you have to stay in bed for a long time. You have to call in sick, and the new year just isn't starting off the way you'd like it to, and this has been going on for quite some time. Maybe one of these scenarios sounded like you, not everything in it, but some of the things in it. For either of these stories, did you pick out one thing that you think is the fundamental reason why this character's problems started mounting? Well, I asked you to, so maybe you did. But it was kind of a trick question. The truth is, everything that I mentioned in each story has an effect on everything else I mentioned. So there's no one thing that you could fix and then everything else will be better. Rather, everything that I mentioned in each story is intricately related to everything else, like a web. And this is what happens during the holidays for so many of us. This time of the year is a complicated combination of hopes and dreams, and also fears and dread about difficult circumstances that we may have to face, whether it be about money or relationships or deadlines or expectations. Holidays are filled with feelings and emotions that can swing drastically from one side of the spectrum to the other, and that's also exhausting. And as you may be aware, our feelings and emotions do have an impact on our physical health. We know that stress reduces our immune system's ability to do its work, and it dysregulates other physical systems that help us maintain optimal health and optimal performance, both mentally and physically. All of these complicated emotions and increased obligations over the holidays, as well as unexpected and expected excitement, put you into a fight, flight, freeze state of mind. And that makes it so we don't address complicated issues as well. We start making mistakes with the people we work with and doing things we're sorry for when it comes to family members, and have less patience with the people around us who we don't know. So it's a giant cycle. It's a catch-22. But it's not all bad news. You can do some things that keep yourself as far out of the cycle as possible. Naturally, at this time of year, I'm talking to my clients a lot about all of these things. They want to have habits that lead them to performing optimally in all situations, whether it's at work, with family, or festivities. And they want to feel good. And they don't want to feel guilty or have negative repercussions from the decisions they've made and the things they've done after the fact, right? They want to make the best decisions, be their best selves as often as possible, probably just like you. So I have plenty of people asking me, what can I do to stave off the negative effects of all these things that are weighing on me during high stress times? Stress, expectations, emotions, lack of sleep, not having the right food choices, and more. The 3 mental practices I'm going to share with you, I did intensively over the last 3 months. In the last 2 months, I traveled for 5 out of the 6 weeks. And the month before that, I had looked for, found, and moved into a new apartment amongst a whole lot of crazy, erratic, unpredictable surprises and stressors at work and personally. During this time, there were also some really amazing, beautiful, and memorable events that happened in my life. And I wanted to enjoy these moments. I wanted to remember them. I didn't want them to pass by so quickly and be overshadowed by all the other things that I had to think about. The things that took my brain deep into problem solving and problem avoiding mode, and even fear and sadness. You know, life isn't very predictable in the first place, and I purposely chose a life that's exciting and unpredictable. And maybe you did too. Because of that, I've learned how important it is to be committed to that mental and physical self-care. Because I, like you, want to be and think optimally and be my best self as often as I possibly can. And at those times when there are beautiful, special, once-in-a-lifetime events going on around you. You don't want to miss them. And you also want to be your best when there are unusual but weighty, difficult events going on, because they too will have a lasting impact on the direction of your life. Here are the 3 things I do and that I did the last 3 months to dramatically and immediately help reduce my stress. Bring me into focus at any current moment. Elongate the amount of time that I spend in blissful positivity and help my brain and body maintain optimal performance. First, I'm going to preface these mental activities with this. When you're heading into your most challenging times, and holidays are one of them, it's time to double down on the most basic and fundamental concepts of self-care. That would be your sleep, your healthy eating patterns with plenty of plants that have phytochemicals that keep your brain and body extremely healthy and working optimally. Keeps the depression and anxiety at bay and help you to stave off illness and reduce inflammation. You also want to double down on getting enough water because your living brain is over 80% water. And you better believe that water helps it to work well. And you've got to have some practices that consistently bring on a positive mindset, which directly affects your mental balance and well-being and enables you to think outside the box and be creative and innovative, solve problems, as well as be kind and patient to others. So finally, there are 3 mental practices that I want to share with you today. They're very simple. They can be done anywhere, at any time. 1, look for the bliss. Don't let those small but amazing life moments escape you. Aside from the fact that it just feels good to have more joy in your life, it also has a direct effect on bringing out the calming, beneficial hormones and chemicals inside your body and brain that improve your mood, strengthen your immune system, and help you be more creative and solve problems better and be a better person for others. So look for the bliss. 2nd, focus on the blissful moments as long as possible. Really take it in. Focus on the visual aspects of it, the sounds, and even the smells of the moment while you're in it. Focus on it and nothing else for as long as possible. And this is how we purposefully lengthen the moments of bliss that we have in our day. It also trains your brain to find happiness, and it trains your brain to focus. So many of us have so much going on all the time. We're constantly being distracted, interrupted, and pulled in all directions. And that will create a brain that's also distracted and pulled in all directions. Just like the body needs to use it or lose it, the brain needs to purposely practice focusing and practice choosing what we're focusing on. And you better believe in the last few months, I was reaching for every opportunity to amplify that bliss. And I do believe it got me through my most challenging months in an optimal way. When you focus on those blissful moments and extend your attention on them, you'll also find that these moments of bliss will start to take up more time in your life and brain. So you're not always only having stress and hardship, but you're balancing it out purposefully. And finally, every time you think of it, breathe deeply. I know, it sounds so simple, but breathing fully is the easiest, most accessible way to bring the stress down. Long, deep breathing has an immediate effect on your blood pressure, your heart rate, and reduces the stress chemicals in your body and brain so you can think better. And so you start to regulate yourself back into a healthy mental and physical state. So yes, simply take some long breaths, make them as deep of an inhale as you can. Make it as long and complete of an exhale as you can, and do it several times. Doesn't even take 5 minutes. And you can do this anywhere, at the desk, at the shopping mall, at the dinner table, in bed. And the more you do it, the easier it will be for you to control your nervous system on command when you need to. So just practice it regularly. Not everyone can step out to a beach or a mountain or step into a meditation retreat at will. but we can certainly put our brain there. And that opportunity is with you at any and all times. If you'd like, in the next episode, I'll go through a breathing exercise that you can do anywhere. You can just click it on your phone and have me lead you through it. So that's it. Look for the bliss. Focus deeply on the blissful moments when you have them, and breathe fully more often. During the holidays, there are more people in your life more often. There are emotions, and there's an increase of obligations and expectations from everyone, including yourself. You owe it to yourself to enjoy this season as much as possible, to go through it with as little stress as possible and as much joy as you could have. Hey, thanks for being with me for a whole year. I'm on my 32nd episode, and I just love having you come along with me with all of this. Looking forward to deepening our relationship and our discussions in the next year. And if you'd like to receive little notes about my episodes and little gems of wisdom in your email box, sign up for the Leadership Optimal Performance emails. Simply go to lucygable.com/leadership and sign up. If you like this episode, click like or give it 5 stars. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about it. The best of holidays to you, the best of the new year to you. Know that I'm rooting for you. I'm here for you. This is Lucy Gable. I'll talk to you next time.